come in the shop. And Vivian Westwood and Bernie Rhodes, who later became the Clash's manager, said there's this guy comes in the shop called John, you should get him to be the singer. Sid's real name's John Beverly, John Ritchie, whichever biography you're reading. So they meant him, but he walked in one Saturday with his mate. One Saturday in 1975, his mate had bright green hair. Now, in 1975, you can't think what. If someone walked past that now, you might look, but it's no big deal. In 1975, bright green hair, and you couldn't get hair dye in those days. The only one you could get was blonde. So a lot of punks used to use boot polish. So halfway through a gig, that all of this boot polish flying down their faces. So he did it with poster paint apparently, and he was wearing this T-shirt. Which you've seen them all wearing at some time or another. You see that all right, yeah?
Oh, man.
Okay. So McLaren straight away going, oh, who's this guy? What's your name? John. He's going, oh, John. This must be the John there right about. It was John Lydon. So they auditioned him, and that's how he became the singer of the Pistols. Sid apparently wasn't very happy. He said, I was the one who brought him in the shop. I should have been the singer and all that, but you know, he had to learn to live with it. Yeah, exactly. So Matlock was by far the best musician in the Pistols. He wrote most of the songs. Lydon did the lyrics. Pretty Vacant was the only one that he wrote the words and the lyrics, so Lydon messing with the lyrics would have pissed him off. It's well known they didn't get on. Lydon called him Beatles obsessed mummy's boy. Jonesy said, yeah, he always wanted me to play Beatles chords. I don't know what Beatles chords are, I never played a Beatles chord in my life. And he goes, and he always had smelly feet, he was always washing his feet. So they always used to be fighting all the time, and they used to do things like this. See this Macari's musical instruments over here. This is in the 70s. All the rock stars used to buy their guitars in here. If you look in the window now, they're not cheap, any of the guitars. So Jonesy said to Matlock one day, he goes, here, I've got a bass here, go and sell it, and we'll go for a drink. So he said, send him into this shop. He walks in, he said, you want to buy this? They said, hold on, wait there, we'll have to have it valued. He stood there for 20 minutes. The police pulled up and arrested him because Jones had stolen it out of that shop, and he sent him back into the same shop to try and sell it back to them. And while he was getting arrested, they all stood over the road laughing at him. Do you know what I mean? So it was a bit, they were doing stuff like that. So when they got banned from performing allegedly and got kicked off EMI, Matlock left. He already had he'd been forming a new band, and he already had a contract with EMI for him. So he left. McLaren says he sacked him because he was a Beatles fan and he had smelly feet. You know what I mean? So you can't believe anything McLaren says, really. So he left. So Sid finally gets in the band, but Sid can't play. But you know, this is punk. You know, you're meant to learn on the job. You're meant to just get up there and do it. Lemmy tried to teach Sid how to play the bass once and gave up. So one night when he got into Pistols, Lemmy was in one of these clubs. Sid's gone up to him, he's gone, oh Lem, I'm in a band. He's going, oh great, what are you doing? He goes, I play the bass. He goes, but you can't play the bass. He goes, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? So he couldn't play. He never played on anything. On Nevermind the Bollocks, Jones played the bass and the guitar. And when Matlock left, they never wrote anything else. It was sort of the beginning of the end for them as well. Even Jones says if Glenn had stayed, they might have done a couple more albums. So the sound completely changes. There's a thing called the Spunk bootleg. Has anyone ever heard the Spunk bootleg? It's the demos for Nevermind the Bollocks with Matlock playing the bass. And so you've got a competent bass player on it. But the Nevermind the Bollocks, it sounds completely different. All it is Jones layering guitar riffs on top of each other. There's a really good doc on YouTube I can send you a link for called The Making of Nevermind the Bollocks. And you can see this engineer, he's going, here, oh, look, this is one riff. And then here, there's the next one. And you can, you know, it's pretty unmistakable, a Sex Pistols guitar riff. And that, Jones created that. So we all know what happened to Sid. So when they did the reunion gigs, Matlock comes back and come back on bass. Did anyone see him on any of the reunion gigs? Yeah, they were good, man. They were really good. Yeah, I didn't want to go, but they were good. I'll give them that. And you think, right, so what's going on with him and Rotten? So I went to a Q&A at the 100 Club with Lydon, and then someone said to him, oh, how'd you get on with Glenn these days? And he goes, look, he said, we're not best mates. We're not going to go round to anyone's house for dinner anytime soon. But, you know, we created something together. We're not 20 anymore. We got respect for each other. We can work together. You know what I mean? So it's not a problem. I spoke to Matlock and I said, you going to do any more Sex Pistols gigs? And he says, well, that's down to the Führer, isn't it? So you can still see that's going on there. Do you know what I mean? So this is the story of the Sex Pistols hung up on an ABBA song that was on the jukebox up in that bar in there. This is also where the Sex Pistols' first interview with the music press was in April 1976. So they chose this place to do an interview with someone. And I've seen pictures of Shane MacGowan in here when he was a punk. I've seen quite a few pictures of people in here. So I've got a feeling they use this pub quite a bit. And they used to use this ape and bird over here, whatever it's called this week. That used to be called the Marquis of Granby. And upstairs in there, they used to rehearse in there. So there's three big Sex Pistols sites within sort of a couple of minutes walking distance of this spot here. All right, so that's the story of the Sex Pistols.